All right. We podcasting, Paul? We're podcasting. This is my first episode 35. Brady Matthews. I feel like I'm doing like an update report.
Yes. Brady Matthews.
I have two of my favorite people that I've known for about 10 years now, right?
It's at least 2 years.
It feels like a year since we've seen each other.
No, right.
Right. I have the Sibs. Not a lot of people know the Sibs, but they're actually writers. They're directors. Used to be actor. Colin Gray.
Former life, yes. I was reporter number 5 on the West Wing. Oh,
nice.
I was ski patrolman number 2 on Saved by the Bell. That was my first gig.
Dude. And what was your living single?
A living single. I was Terrell, the melancholy gay man.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
How does that even work?
How do you not know about it?
How do you even get that? How do you even get that audition? Did you just walk in? You're like, I'm not feeling so hot.
I feel
you're like, this guy's good.
He's
melancholy.
so good.
He is method.
He method all the way.
Wow.
He wept in his
and
audition.
then we have your sister. We have Megan Raney Aarons, right?
Word. Yes.
What do you guys like doing more? Do you guys like being directors more? You like producing more? What do you guys like doing?
It's a hodgepodge, I'll say, but we, speaking for myself, I very much directing first and foremost.
Yeah.
Writing, directing,
Yeah.
But then, by nature of independent filmmaking, you kind of have to wear every single hat known to man.
Yeah.
For sure.
To get the things made, you've got to be a producer too. And I think for
So
me,
I clean toilets as well.
Exactly.
Oh, you clean toilets too?
Yeah.
I'm a part of that.
I need someone.
Okay, great. We'll talk later.
We'll talk. We'll talk. But no, I mean that's the thing. I would say I consider myself a writer first, and then a director. But then absolutely, I mean, to get any of your things done and made and financed in the indie world, you're a producer. And you got to embrace it. That's just part of the hustle.
Do you find it harder to do the indie thing when you're producing? Do you find it a lot harder? I mean, it's got to be, right? Because you're doing a lot of guerrilla shots. Because I remember when we did the Clean Break thing, we were running around everywhere.
Yeah.
Do your listeners know about?
Yeah. Let's talk about
foray
Clean Break.
into Clean Break. How we know each other.
Listen,
let's
break
it on this for a second.
Back it up.
We'll back it up before we get into all the fun stuff. I met these guys doing a web series called Clean Break, where they asked me if I could do water sports, and I fucking lied and couldn't do any of them. Not any of them, which probably screwed up the whole fucking production.
You were particularly gifted at surfing.
No, yes, yeah. When I got listen,
you got up on the wakeboarding. You got up,
bro. They put me on a bathtub times 10. I mean, this thing was like the size of a football field. It was so big, and I still couldn't get on it. And then I remember getting off and going into the water, or getting off the water and going to the shore, and I threw up for about 30 minutes because that cardio is no joke. Dude.
Yeah,
it was real. I mean, honestly, after we shot the pilot, we went back and we're like, okay, well, we're recasting, but we cast around the fact we loved watching Brady fail.
Yeah,
but it was your comedy.
Yeah,
I mean,
the time.
We're like, well, we hired a comedy guy to basically go and nearly kill himself every episode. So then we needed a true waterman as your sidekick.
We should have not called it Clean Break. You should have called it Watch This. You know what I mean?
Dude, but how much fun was that? I mean, we got to travel around the country.
I had so much fun. I had to say that was the most fun I've had doing anything recently because we got to travel to Canada, which I only go to Canada like once a year for comedy. But we went up there, and it's nice to go with people that are from Canada
100%.
that know. They're like, no, don't do that. But you can do that. Don't do that.
Don't eat that. Definitely eat these donuts.
Right.
We think we're polite, but we're actually not.
No, I've
We're
heard.
assholes.
I've heard. And do they call you guys Maples? They call you Maples?
I mean, we've called a lot of things. Someone has a half shower, suddenly it's a Canadian shower. I'm like, what? We're not clean now, too?
Well, I almost wore my Canadian tux today. You know what that is, right?
You're naked.
No,
it's blue jacket,
jean on jean.
Dude, that's my go-to. That's my go-to.
Jean on jean,
when
right?
I have shows and I have no more laundry, I just wear the jean jacket.
Yeah.
And it works.
It totally works.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's not
Honestly,
doesn't
Canadians are
breathe
just
very good.
smart.
What?
Canadians are just smart.
They are very smart.
They've figured out the economies.
Yeah.
Economies of scale and compassion.
Wait, so how long did you guys live in Canada for?
Megan was born there.
I was born there, but I moved as a 9-year-old.
I moved where?
To England.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So you're proper, girl.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Proper job, mate.
LA. Or is that Australian? And Colin,
I was born in Michigan.
Yes.
And then moved up when I was 8.
Right.
And then
Up, meaning to the Great White North.
to the Great White North.
Yeah.
Sure.
So basically through, elementary school, junior high, high school, and then I had to come back to the States to the University of Michigan.
Of
Go
course.
Blue.
Right. Did you always want to go to Michigan?
Always. It was
Yeah.
like the dream.
Dude, I remember when I first heard about Michigan's football field, like, it's dug into the ground.
What?
Fucking cool, that.
I love that this is your first memory of Michigan.
That's all, yeah.
Never even, I don't even know if I ever knew this. And you're
Yeah.
like,
No, but that's like one of my first memories is my
I loved
dad
it.
taking me to a Michigan
wow,
Ohio
I was
State
talking
game.
about-
I was like 3 or 4 years old. Like, and I remember having pancakes in the morning and then going to a Michigan football game
Yeah.
at a big house. And it was just like unbelievable. Like I was like, I have to come back here.
Who did they play? You remember your first game, who they played?
Well, it was Ohio State. It was so
right.
he actually took us to
And did they win?
And they won by a field goal.
Thank fucking God.
Thank God. We have not.
And that was
the
the
last
we have not.
win.
I was gonna say,
That was the
and that
last
was the
win
last game they won
in
against Ohio
like
State.
a decade.
Okay,
and
well done.
let's not talk about that.
Okay.
Okay, moving on.
Moving on.
So, Megan, did you start acting in England, or did you?
Yeah, you
were
know, it's funny.
producing?
I did. I started acting in England, and I did lots of regional theater, and like had all these high hopes of pursuing acting.
Sure.
Colin was already acting by the time I had I took a year out before college.
Right.
Followed him to
Reporter
Canada.
number 5.
Yeah. Well, but this predated.
at least you
Reporter
had a
number 5.
name, Brad.
Yeah. He actually was
I mean,
Frank Hardy in the remake of the Hardy Boys, and so I go to
No
live with him in
shit.
Canada, and he has
Wow,
his own
big
show.
time,
He's
huh?
Mac Daddy.
Dude, you know, for a year. For
Wow.
a year. And then it failed just miserably.
Do you remember your first awful audition? Since this is
okay.
everything first.
Okay,
My first-
so
yeah.
here, let me tell you. This is something that
Because
my
I have
first
so many.
It started in theater
Trouble.
in New York. Exactly. So here's I will tell you my first off Broadway show and my first review in New York.
All right, so set the table for us.
Set the table.
Here we
Okay.
go.
The show was called My Son the Doctor, and it's this
I hate it
terrible
already.
comedy
I hate it already.
written by a failed playwright who was wanting to be a doctor, who then left medicine to become a playwright, and the show's about a doctor who leaves medicine to become a playwright, and he cast himself in it, and it's funded by, we find out after we debut off Broadway, by his parents. The whole thing was just weird and terrible.
And this is off Broadway.
This is off Broadway and was at Irish Arts Center, and it was like a legitimate production, but terrible. And so we're just like, who are these mystery investors? But then we have like Clive Barnes coming down. And so the review in the New York Post, I'll never forget.
Oh, fuck.
It's so it says.
You framed it, I think. at
Yeah,
one point,
I
didn't you?
did frame it, and so it's the
punch it
called
every
My
day?
Son the Doctor. It says, "Oh doctor, here is thy stink." That's the headline.
Oh.
And then the opening sentence was, "There are some plays that by their sporadic existence redefine the constantly expanding parameters of dramatic ineptitude."
You memorized this, huh?
I memorized
seriously.
this. You do.
That's his monologue in all auditions now.
Damn, bro.
That's all I got.
Oh my God.
Damn.
Dude, but he just harshed
Ineptitude.
it. Just harshed. And that was like, and so I just, like, there's so many firsts that I had.
Yeah.
Horrible auditions, horrible debuts, but that one was scathing.
So what about so for Saved by the Bell? What'd you have to do for Saved by the Bell?
That was one of my first auditions.
You said
with
melancholy. What?
Terrell the Melancholy Game.
That was on Living Single. Yeah.
Can we get a little piece of how that went, please? Yes, get in character.
Imagine nightclub heaving, everyone
Sure.
dancing.
Yeah. Oh,
That was it.
He's very melancholy.
you didn't have any lines?
No, I had some lines.
Oh,
but,
that's
They
like
were all
when
said
that's
like
like
that.
I still get like 3-cent residuals for How I Met Your Mother when I went over to Wayne Brady and I was
Okay,
like,
yeah, what's-
I had to play a gay guy and I was like, how about a shot? And he's like, not tonight. And I was like, oh, and then that was it.
Oh, I like that.
I like that. I like
you like
that.
channeled your
Yeah, but see, I did it
Kramer.
before, a middle, and an after. I had an arc.
Oh, well done. Well done.
What was
I see
your
what you're
worst
doing.
audition?
Which year? Where did we start? I remember I had one for. I talked about this all the time, but I had one for what is it? General Hospital.
Oh dear.
And they give you all that dialogue. Like it's literally like 3 pages, but this is all you. This is all. That's
wow.
all you. And I was like, okay, no problem. So I memorized all of it. I went into the room. I was super nervous, so I thought maybe have a couple cigarettes before you go in.
Yeah.
And then like a big cup of coffee because that really gets the energy
Calms
going.
your nerves.
Totally. So I walk. So I'm sitting there. I'm sitting in the waiting room, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna have a heart attack. And I go into the room, and of course they make it's so intimidating. Where there's a guy in the far back left corner, and then there's like his reader right here, and everything's very dramatic.
God.
Like you know, very dramatic. And I walk in,
No
and I was
eye
like,
contact.
no. And he's like, all right, ready when you are. Ready when you are, go. And I'm like, Forgot every single word, every single fucking word you could think of. And I went in there, I basically just took a nice big pile of poop and I set it there.
Smacked it on his desk. Have that.
And then I fucking left. And then I remember I walked to the water fountain and I took a sip of water and it shot me right in the face. And then I went up to the elevator and it was nice and cold and I put my face on the elevator. I go, oh, and then it opened. It was like, so that was
Well, bravo.
thank you.
Well done.
That was fucking awful.
And you dodged the bullet of being a soap opera actor for the rest of your life.
You know what?
Your career. So.
My mom was like, "Do this for Grammy."
Do it for Grammy. I love it.
And I'm like, "Mom, I'm not in Hollywood for Grammy, but I'm definitely gonna try."
But instead, you got to work with the Sibs.
Yeah,
That's true.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you guys like working on because you have something that you produce right now, right? Or it's your own movie?
Yeah.
Can we talk about it a little bit?
Of course. It's one that Megan is actually producing. I'm writing and
producing,
directing.
that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we kind of handed out some things I write and direct, and sometimes she does it. Sometimes we do it together. This one, it's called 90291 Venice Unzipped.
Right.
And it's looking at income inequality, the growing income divide in America.
Ooh.
But instead of going around the country, we decided to focus on one community, one zip code.
Why not Venice?
Why not Venice? Fast rising home sales
For people that don't
prices.
know, but for people that know the big words, what did you say? What?
Income inequality.
Okay, so I'm retarded.
It's really funny stuff, by the
Say
way.
it 10 times. Yeah.
What does that mean for people like me that are stupid?
What it means is that there's a growing distance or disparity between the wealthiest and the poorest in this country. We pride ourselves on being a meritocracy and that everyone can get ahead, but increasingly you are imprisoned in the circumstances of your birth or the zip code you live in. And so it's sort of a look at one community that's dealing with this growing divide. There's a portion of Venice that's becoming very wealthy because of all the tech money.
Yeah, and startups and stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm.
But then there's also a huge homelessness problem. There's a vanishing affordable housing. So it used to be they call it the last beach city of color, very diverse, working, middle class, upper class. It's becoming a haven for primarily the upper class who can afford to buy there now.
Yeah.
And so the challenge is, how do you address that? So we're following 3 families who are all artists.
Oh, wow.
So it's a really interesting way into the topic because they're all artists, but one's actually homeless. They're street artists.
So you're talking about like pop art, like this
Yeah,
stuff.
they do it on the boardwalk, but they have 2 kids under the age of 3. And the first day we started filming with them, it was their 62 consecutive day without shelter, and they'd been on and off the street for 3 years. And so we follow them for a year
with kids.
With kids,
yeah,
dude.
man.
Bro,
Yeah.
It's intense.
In the rain and
that
a tent.
is so sad.
And so, but there's so much talk in California, in Los Angeles, really around the nation, really around the globe about how do we deal with this. But it's so abstract. It's statistics. We wanted to find actual families who are going through some of these challenges.
Do they get anything from the government at all?
They do, and actually it's one
I don't
of
want to give everything away. But.
No, but it's one of the more hopeful sort of journeys in the movie is their progression, because there's been a lot of debate in Venice and elsewhere around LA about bridge housing, which is temporary housing for the homeless, because there was a proposition that was passed to give money to help build more, of the supportive housing.
Yeah.
Because, anybody who lives in Los Angeles can see for themselves, how much the homelessness thing is an issue, and it's growing, and there's just the population has exploded. And so what's the safety net? Like,
What do you
where do they go?
And so there was money allocated for this, but the challenge is everyone voted to spend money on it and have higher taxes. But then when the city said, great, now we have $2 billion or over $1 billion, we're going to start putting temporary homeless housing centers in each district. Each neighborhood was like, whoa.
They're like, no.
We want to give you the money, but don't build it here.
Yeah.
And so it's been very divisive, and it's a complex issue. So we're following both the journeys of these families, but also what's sort of dividing the community. But this one family, I will say, through some of the services, because there's a lot of wonderful frontline organizations that are helping families like them out, they are able to go from the street to a temporary motel,
Great.
to a temporary apartment.
Right.
And without giving away the whole movie, at the end, they actually get their own apartment and get off the street within 1 year.
That's great.
And so the interesting thing about the 3 artists profiled is they kind of all blow the norms and the stereotypes out of the water.
Like they're all like doing meth, or they're all doing like crazy drugs,
massive mental health issues. Like all of that is a reality, but there is also people who sit outside of that, and that's not necessarily the norm. So, and then also with our aspirational artist, like she's just awesome. She's amazing. It's sort of this hopeful story, as opposed to being like, okay, well, anyone who's made a lot of money sucks. Like, it's not the point. So there's
she's an immigrant success story. Like she's her
kind of the American dream working.
Yeah,
no kidding.
She's her family's from Uruguay. She came over here, very humble, middle class, hardworking roots. They were able to put her through art school, and then she had a big career as like a creative director in the commercial world, and was finally able to quit and focus full time on her art, like you, my friend.
No kidding.
And that's now her career.
If you guys need another project, let me know. I'm definitely available.
Brady Matthews, ladies and gentlemen.
Also, if you're hearing that hammering, guys, next door, that is the authentic hammering of a new place being put up, right, Paul?
Or is that Mongolian Airlines I noticed is next door? So,
well, also
like,
there's
I was like, you guys are in.
There's a lot of Korean barbecue over here, so they must be beating the meat, if you will.
They're beating the meat.
By the way, I'm just going to pitch you something right here.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Can we possibly get we're going to have a bigger fundraiser in the new year, most likely, where we're going to be profiling a bunch of the artists and showcasing other amazing local artists and auctioning off some of their brilliant artwork. Maybe
there will even be some live
art. People can talk to your people.
Colin, for all 5 of my listeners, they're down for that.
People, did you get that?
So I appreciate that. Yeah, I would love to do that. And that sounds awesome. And the thing I love about you guys so much is you stay motivated with your personal projects, and you don't look around like what everyone else is doing. How do you for people that do listen to this, how do you guys how do you find your next project? Is it something that just speaks to you, or is it something that people approach you upon, or how does that work?
I mean, it's a smorgasbord, really.
It really does vary.
It's a great question. I think every time there'll be something that's been nagging us. That Colin's been wanting to tell a story about income inequality.
It's something in you, right?
Yeah, it just you do have something that, like, this literally has been something that I've been thinking about a way into how do we humanize and talk about this. I've been thinking about a topic and doing something in this area for probably 5 years. But it's interesting because sometimes something can happen very quickly, but it goes to the front of the line in terms of what we're working on. In fact, this new thing we're just putting together right now is a feature script that we just wrote. That was an idea Megan came up with in December, and we've already finished the script, and she's going to make her directorial scripted feature debut with it.
Yeah, man. And but you the idea, when it speaks to you, either there's one that needs to have a long gestation, right? And other things, just you got to get it out. And that was one where as we talked about, like, we just had to get it down on paper. And I think time is one of those things that any artist struggles with. Yeah. And it's interesting because now we've both got kids, and suddenly, like, dude, talk about time management.
Yeah, you guys got to work at like midnight.
Seriously, no, that's what it is. You put the kid to bed, wife goes to bed, and then you're like, oh, well, I'll take an hour right now. Get a little more writing.
I'm going to make some coffee.
Really.
Do you guys ever get in like tiffs with each other in terms of, like, because nothing is ever perfect, but
of course
I know people that
I fucking hate this guy.
I know, trust me,
she sucks.
Me and my sister, I'll FaceTime my sister, and she's like, okay, I have kids, I have shit to do. I'm like, okay, I won't FaceTime you anymore. I thought, we would catch up, but forget it.
You're like, hey, twin.
No, we have we got it. This is a story we always tell. It's like, so when we're directing together on things, we have a code word on set.
Are we allowed to say?
Are we allowed to say? Because
what is it, like watermelon? Hamburger.
Popcorn.
Popcorn.
Oh, is it really?
So popcorn
is it really?
If one of us ever says popcorn, it's because
like
we're not communicating.
We're not communicating. But you don't want anyone else to know that.
So we're just
but then you have to change the safe word.
Yeah.
Popcorn is no debate. We step away from set and we figure out what the hell is why we're.
But it's rare. Yeah. It's rare. I mean,
I think we've used it once or twice.
Yeah, and it was a harebrained moment in India. Like, we had the massive crew, and it was insane. And we had
in India.
Someone,
well, I mean, why not? It's so easy to shoot in India, right?
Totally.
You guys
Actually, it was insane.
You guys are so smart, but you guys pick most technical projects from, like,
the worst.
The fuck?
Oh, no, you're not. Like, seriously, the scripted film that we're just getting together now. It's partly in English, partly in Spanish, and partly in Kichi.
What?
Because that's what you do.
That's a Mayan language.
What is Kichi? You guys are so Venice. What is?
It's just the guy who's drinking kombucha.
By the way, I got this at 7-Eleven. And anyways,
by the way, were you doing that purposely? Are you
Health Aid? If you're listening, I love your shit, and I also love your 7-Eleven bacon that you put. Have you ever had their bacon?
No.
Yes.
No.
It's not good for you, but
I love bacon.
Paul, right? You've had it. It's fucking delicious.
Really?
But he can't have it anymore. Paul Paul can't have it
Oh,
anymore.
Paul,
Poor
come
Paul.
on.
Poor
You can have some
Paul.
kombucha if you want, Paul.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's funny because going back to the time thing, at the same point, you kind of have to figure out your outlets, right?
Right.
And so, in a weird plot twist, and I think I actually need to thank you for this, Brady,
Sure,
because
you're welcome.
when we were shooting, for you listeners,
what
when we
for.
were shooting, when we were shooting Clean Break in Aspen, we taped you doing stand-up. 'cause we were all so thrilled that we
was
had a
so
stand-up.
awful. I think I bombed.
No,
I think I had a bad
you
set.
bombed, but maybe compared
No,
to
you rocked it, dude.
I don't know. Dude, I remember doing Clean Break and doing that kite surfing.
Dude, that was the best.
Oh, that was. And
I
then
still can
you got
see your
attacked
face.
by that one.
By the way,
He was
is it,
dragged through the air.
I was dragged through the air, and then the guy goes, "You ready to go again?" I go, "Get this fucking thing off my body, bro," because it connects to you. Yeah, it connects to you, and you're like, right? And by the way, that guy that taught us how to do the thing with the little kite, yeah, not the same thing.
No,
guy.
suddenly you got
Not
like
the-
a
Then you got this
massive
thing,
foil.
and you have to be a meteorologist on this
Totally.
thing.
Oh, and we were in Big Wind, Playground of the Gods. You remember,
Yeah.
like that
Yeah.
the Hood
Beautiful.
River,
Hood River.
stunning. But then you guys were off over there, like trying not to kill yourself,
Right.
And I was stranded, and I didn't have my walkie, and I was trying to throw some directions to you about where to come, and so I'm like waving you down. This random dude like gallops up on his wind-operated kite and like steps
"Can you-"
off of it onto the island where I'm standing. He's a freaking Adonis. I could still like
Right.
gorgeous.
Oh,
And
okay.
I'm like,
drops.
I'm like, hello.
Right, yeah, Megan's like, "We're good." We don't
Brad,
have to
Brad,
go back
don't
home."
Boys,
listen
everyone,
right now.
I'm gonna be a minute.
yeah.
But and he's like, "Oh, hi, can I help you?" I'm like, "Of course, yes."
Yes.
Anyways.
Yeah, I forgot what I was doing.
But he's like, "Do you want me to give a message to those guys over there?" I'm like, "Yeah, what's your name?" He's like, "Sky."
I don't-
What? Come on,
it's-
Sky.
Yeah, it was probably like Trevin.
It was truly Sky.
Trevin.
And I looked
Of course
him
it
up
was
in
Sky.
magazines
Yeah.
later, and he's like this big deal. Of
course he is.
And you remember we went out to the bar that night, and there was some talent in the
Dude,
bar.
I just
male
know
and
that the,
female, I
the
feel like.
sure. I had a great
wipeouts
time.
that I mean, seriously, you think back on it now, like it's amazing that no one wasn't seriously
No.
injured. I mean,
Well,
those
that was
are like
big
really
wind.
dangerous sports.
Colin, dude, when you guys said, "Okay, we're gonna have you fall out of the boat," I know you guys said to me I was dramatic, and yes, I'm a very dramatic person. I get it. But when I fell out of that boat and I got under the water,
were under
I
the
was
boat.
under the boat for so long. I know it was probably like 2 seconds, but I swear to God, I tell my mom this all the time. I go, I was under the boat, and I could see the boat going like this, and I could see the sun glistening into the water, and I go,
had
"This
enough
is how
time
it
to think
ends."
about all this.
I go, "This is how it ends from doing a web series."
A web series with
Web
the
series.
Sibs.
I'm like,
Say,
this is
thanks,
it.
Sibs.
Oh my God.
You just killed me.
And then you
Holy
come
fuck.
up, we have it on tape. I think it was in the blooper reel where you're
Yeah.
like, "I was underwater for like 5 minutes." And the guy was like, "A
Wait,
minute,
is that
by
your
the way."
impression of me?
And
That's
no,
pretty good.
and it wasn't even. He said, and he was like this: 10
Oh,
seconds,
guys.
10 seconds.
Like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, nostril flare. I forgot the nostril flare.
Yeah. Very-
And then what about the pranks? Like, how idiotic are we? We paid
I
two guys
know.
to basically prank the entire production, the
I
entire
felt so
time
bad
on the
for
road.
what's his face when we put water on him when he was sleeping. Do you remember
Drew.
Drew has never recovered. I don't know.
Yeah.
that? Is he okay? What's he doing these days?
He's in an institution, but no, he's
Oh,
a dad.
okay.
He's
Poor
a dad.
guy.
He's great.
He's like those motherfuckers.
Yeah, I gotta get those guys.
Clean break. Now, have you guys had projects where you're like, you started it and you're like, I don't think this is gonna work? Have you ever had that, or you
know-
see everything through?
You know
Every
what?
project.
Every
So
pro-
there's a point in almost, I'd
Yeah.
say, any project you ever do where the self-doubt kicks in. It's like
like a
as
painting.
a comic where you go on stage and you can't look
Absolutely.
at it, or a painting where you're like, you know you can't look at it, but you start to question. Like any artist knows this
Yeah,
feeling.
you
right?
look at it, you go, this
I
isn't
can't.
not
This
good.
is shit.
No.
Listen, I've had that just in the last year. I swear to God, there's been so many moments where I'm like, I know this is compelling. I know this is powerful, but you start thinking of all the things that you didn't capture or you did. Because how do you tell the story of an entire community, for instance? Like
Yeah.
you feel like you're missing so many things. And are you doing it justice? And are we being fair to this? Or is this dramatic enough? Are people going to want to? You get inside and you've got to just try to stay true to your vision and just keep chipping away. Because if you listen to that voice, you'll never finish anything.
Yeah, I mean that's like when I do art, I'll do it and I'll go, I think I'm going to give this person their money back. I don't think I can do it.
Oh, especially when it's commissioned.
Yeah,
'cause
pretty
then
much
it's pressure,
99% of the time, I'll walk in, go to my girlfriend, I go, I don't think I can do it. And she goes, no, it's fine. Just keep going. You say that every single time.
Yeah.
And then you just got to sit out there and you just got to keep chiseling away.
Keep chiseling.
Keep chiseling
And
away.
then you get in the zone like an athlete, right?
Exactly.
And then you're like, the voice stops, and you're kind of
and you
robotic.
take more
and you're-
Adderall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Good fix for
Big
everything.
bong hit.
Yeah, big bong hits. Get ripped. That's always helps.
Don't tell them our secret sauce.
Of course. All right, I have questions for you guys. Okay.
Oh, you know what? I have to say one thing real
Yeah,
fast
go ahead.
because we we are so excited to have you on the stage for us.
I'm pumped.
For the show.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was going to ask you. What do you think about her doing stand-up now?
Okay, I'm loving it, and she's friggin' hilarious, but I'm also mildly terrified each time because I'm like, it's very much material from her life. I'm like, okay, keep talking about your hubby. Keep talking about your hits.
I'm running out of material.
And I'm like,
watch
when
out,
is she going to tee up on
out of
her
nowhere,
row?
she starts coming in
I'm
there.
like, oh God, here we go. So I'm so in awe of like both of you. Like it's so fearless. I could never do it, but then I'm also like, oh God, when is it coming? When is it blowing back?
My parents listen to a lot of my comedy. Like I'll tape my sets. My mom's like, send us your set. We want to listen to it because they're supportive. And she'll listen and go, that never happened. That never.
Oh, you're like, but maybe from your point of view,
has to be accurate.
Well, not all cats have diarrhea. You know what I mean? Like
I love that. That's your comeback.
But
not all cats have diarrhea. Mom, think on that.
But in this story, in this situation, this cat has diarrhea. Okay.
Oh my God.
Fair enough.
What do you find challenging when you go on stage? Like, how many times have you done it now?
So this is all brand new, okay? But I was going to say before, I think that somewhere lodged in the back of my brain after watching you do the Aspen thing and hanging out with you on the show, I was like, God, I don't know that I realized it, but something was saying I should try it. I did a stint with the groundlings in classes and stuff, and so
I think that's harder.
I think that's harder too,
dude. You did groundlings too, right?
I did the improv comedy and stuff, but not with the groundlings. Just growing up and doing. But I mean, nothing as serious as the groundlings, and certainly never any stand up. I personally feel like stand up is harder, but
truly, I take my hat off to you. My motivation is to help the economies of scale of my writing, and I'm always been focused on wanting to have more comedy in my
instead of being like the focus of the attention. Yeah.
So and it's a great way to meet comics. It's a great way to sort of exercise the muscle of writing the punchline, but getting there, but efficiently in a way that's effective, testing out stuff. But then also, like, here I am now, I'm already starting to like cast some people in some side projects because of doing the circuit, which is great. But it's about, like, I'm loving getting scared.
Yeah.
You have
to
getting out of
be.
your comfort
good to push
zone.
yourself.
Because if you're going up there just doing the same shit over and over again, there's kind of no point in doing it.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Because you just get comfortable. And for one point, I was getting comfortable because I was really loving my jokes. Yeah. And you don't want to bomb anymore. And you're like, I don't think I miss bombing. Yeah. And then I went up and did this winery show, which was like, it's stupid winery show. And I tried out, I said, my whole set, I'm just going to do all new jokes. I ate the biggest dick on the planet.
Really?
I ate such a huge dick. And towards the end, people were just like talking amongst themselves.
Oh no!
Yeah,
and you're like, you hadn't felt that in so long. Right?
No, and then I got in the car at home, and I was like, I don't think I want to do comedy anymore. Oh, it hurt so bad. But then
you were so alone up there.
Yeah,
that's why I think it's so brave. But I think that also is like how amazing it is to push yourself like that.
And it feels when it feels good, it's a high. It really is.
But then you go back to the Comedy Store and you get an 8:00 spot in the main room, and you're like, go fuck yourself, Steve. You go in, just go. And it's fun, and it's what you do it for, you know. Yeah. But it's also like people say, like, you're not very funny off stage. You're like, okay, well, I'm not. You're a doctor. I'm not asking you medical advice.
No, that's a crazy thing to say
off stage. People get that all the time.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, but it's a weird one. I mean, I've done 5. This is all so new. I've done 5 shows, right? And I'm enjoying every step of it. I've had some that I'm like, nailed it.
Yeah, totally.
I'm like,
yeah. See, I used to go up and get like fucking bombed before I go on stage. I used to get.
Did you?
Pretty, yeah,
just like a bunch of shots.
I would have like 4 or 5 drinks before I go on stage, and I'm like, all right, let's fucking go. Yeah. And you go up there, and you're like, and then you get off stage, and like you'll ask like your girlfriend or friend, you're like, not bad. And I'm like, I didn't understand a word you said.
You really slurred your way through the whole thing. I saw a comic do that the other night. Right. But it's super. I'm pumped that we're gonna have you on stage. So it's
gonna be fun.
You guys are treading the stage together.
November 3rd,
November 4th,
the Townhouse.
Yes.
So if you want to get your tickets, where do they go?
So we're actually just selling at the door.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, which is super fun.
At what time again?
And it's at 7:30 doors. Show starts at 8. And it's really cool because Bronston, who you've had on the show, and you
Bronson
introduced
Jones.
us to, he has his Wednesday night at the Del Monte, which is the speakeasy downstairs from the Townhouse. And it's a really historic venue. I think it's like the longest operating bar in Los Angeles.
Used to be a brothel.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And the speakeasy, right, during Prohibition.
That shit's got to be haunted.
Dude.
It definitely. So there's going to be
gotta
some
be.
like hecklers. Ghost has hecklers. But wait, there's the lineup.
The
though.
lineup
There's
is
the lineup's
insane. So we got
amazing.
Boston because it's his venue, right?
Right.
You got Francisco Ramos, you got me, you got Bronston, you got Greg Fitzsimmons.
Kira Soltavanik. I'm probably mispronouncing her name, but she's hilarious.
Yeah,
and then
she's funny.
I've handpicked a few up-and-comers I've seen who I love. This one girl, Haley Rice, she's really new, and I'm developing some
can't
stuff with
wait.
her. I fucking love her. And some other
Jay Shore.
Jay Shore.
I love Megan's become she's gonna be a manager now for
No.
She's like this Haley girl. You're gonna really like her. She's got a specific style. She's very very melancholy.
Very melancholy.
Yeah.
But no, it's and I will say this: there's if people can't make it out, but I hope they can.
We should say Dennis Gubbins as well.
And Dennis, of course, because it's all a fundraiser for 90291 Venice Unzipped. So for anyone who's listening who wants to support the movie, you can just Google IDA, which is the International Documentary Association. So just Google IDA and Unzipped, and it'll take you to the page where you can make a tax deductible
And you have
donation.
Shows you a crotch, a penis, just like
Nice.
Oh yeah, it does.
worth it. Google it.
This is a snuff film.
Exactly. You can buy strap-ons. Yeah.
We're gonna market that, man.
Do you have underwear with Colin's face on it?
Venice Unzipped.
Not everything has to be homeless.
in the back?
Let's find a home for Colin.
The back thong says Coco, and on the front says Puff.
Oh,
Coco
damn.
Puff
Yeah.
with them. It's perfect.
I love that. I think you'll sell out on that.
People are going to be
Don't
like,
you?
this is a very unusual merch approach for this documentary.
Well, I had a shirt that had a V-neck and it said AGINA, and I had nothing about vagina in my fucking.
Oh my God.
I had nothing about vagina in my act, but I used to sell them after my show. And everyone's like, "So what's the?"
No,
And I'm
no,
like,
no.
"I don't know. I just thought it was a catchy
Like
shirt."
And did they sell?
I sold all of them.
Thank you.
Yeah,
you.
Because
it's
vagina.
It's a V-neck and just says AGINA. So people walk up and go, "Agina," and I go, "It's a V-neck," and they go, "Got it."
So cute.
Yeah, sold all of them. So, what was I going to ask you? Oh, here, I have
Questions.
some questions for you.
Questions.
Oh, okay.
Because this is fun.
This is fun.
What's the most embarrassing thing you've done and blamed it on someone else?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, the blaming on someone else.
I frequently blame my children for everything.
Yeah.
My tardiness, but embarrassing.
Well, I've definitely, because I have a big 125-pound silver lab.
And
so there
think
have
I've
definitely been, I've farted several times,
Sure.
At parties at my house or whatever.
Sure.
I'm like,
the damn
Henry,
dog. Yeah. Fucking
so
stinky.
definitely farts.
You know what? I feel like that's a universal answer there.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I think everyone
everybody-
Who has a dog?
Or my dog farted yesterday was putting my running shoes on and just looked at me like this. Like,
Yeah, what?
What about it? It was like one of those ones. I was like,
He's like, what you gonna do about it?
I'm like, man, can you imagine if we just farted and just stared at
each other.
stare at everybody?
Oh, yeah. No, thanks.
Like, okay. So what about you? Is
Well, this is a weird one, but it's the first thing that comes to mind. I sometimes dress as a guy to fuck with people. His
Okay.
name's Mark Torso.
Sure.
this is a character.
But I take him out for fun, for shits and giggles.
No shit.
So I get to blame him for everything and
you
do
do
all
Mar-
the stuff that I wish I could
Mark
do.
is outrageous. Mark has been slapped and
I nearly had my jaw was
punched.
practically dislocated
Yeah.
by a girl. I got to say something, but in the guise of this disgusting man.
What is it? What's
I didn't do it.
What's the
Give the
back?
voice.
What's
Give
the
the
backstory?
voice.
Yeah, give me the voice.
Oh, all right then. How's it going, mate? You good? Yeah, that's all right.
You sound like my buddy Lowy. He's Australian.
Who's Lowy then?
It's like, good day. Good day. You're like, you don't have to put it on that.
But
thing.
he's Australian, so it's different.
Oh, what is this guy?
He's British, mate.
Oh, he's British. I can't tell. I can't tell the difference. But yours is good. For me, I just have a bad ear.
Yeah.
Okay, who's a celebrity you'd like to beat up?
Oh.
I mean, does Donald Trump count as a
Sure,
celebrity?
yeah,
So
sure.
Donald Trump.
Want to beat him up?
Roman Polanski.
Oh yeah,
I like that.
he's a real
Sodomite.
he loves kids.
Crowd
Under-
pleaser.
Yeah.
Loves them kids, huh?
Loves those kids.
Him and Woody.
Teen girls.
Him and Woody.
There's a number of people like that. Harvey.
We put them in a room at the
Yeah,
same
just-
time.
and
Harvey,
just-
like all of
yeah,
them. Let's do a
Without
match.
naming names, have you worked with a celebrity and you're like, this guy is a fucking piece of shit?
Yes.
Or like, yes,
Yes.
really?
Yeah.
Can you give me a scenario of where or what it was? Because I know you guys work with a lot of celebrities and stuff.
I will just say it was flying back from a premiere.
Oh, I know.
In Europe, and the amount of the way they treated underlings and other people around them and the help. And it was just so condescending, and it was just not good people.
And it just rubbed you the wrong way the whole time.
Yeah, just why?
And from where he's from, should have known better.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Just entitled. So
I hate that. So you're talking about a guy from Canada. Okay, we're
Narrowing down.
I'll figure it out. I'll fucking figure it
But
out.
I gotta say, on the whole, actually,
Been
we've
pleasantly
had
surprised.
really good luck with just pleasant, interesting
people.
people. Who,
absolutely.
yeah.
What made you guys want to get into, what was it, like the first film or first show that you saw? You're like, I think I want to do something like that.
Ooh, that's a great question.
The gods must be crazy.
What is that?
That's a great one. Yeah, I love that.
I need to go back and see that film. I have this horrible feeling it's probably awfully racist, terrible, not funny. But as a kid, it's so racist.
Yeah.
But I do remember it was the first. Awful.
Because isn't it the Coke bottle?
The Coke bottle falls, lands on the head of this tribal guy in Africa, and he realizes he has to take the Coke bottle to the end of the world and drop it back to the gods or something. And it's an awful film. But actually, all I remember about that, there was something that made me laugh so hard that I couldn't recover from it. And I was like, I want to make people laugh.
There you go.
And then the next one after that was Trading Places. Trading Places. Yeah. Oh my God.
Wait, with was
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy, that's right.
I was such an Eddie Murphy fan. Like anything he did, anything he touched,
Well, I remember sounds so random, but I remember going to church and they showed Jesus Christ Superstar.
Oh, no shit. They showed that?
I know, and it was
church?
At church.
It must have been a very progressive.
What was next? Rent?
Yeah, no, seriously. And I remember just like it was so random. It was like the temple scene and everyone dancing and jumping around, and I'm like, that looks like fun.
Well, and the crazy turn of events is that then Colin did do Jesus Christ Superstar.
True. Did you really?
Had a leading role.
Yes.
What?
And my co-star.
You had to sing and everything?
Yeah, sing and dance.
Terrifying.
I did a fair bit of terrifying. But my co-star, who was just a junior sort of girl in the chorus, Lucy Liu.
No way.
And they ended
met
up being
at
together
Michigan.
forever.
And you guys have actually done some projects with her, right?
Yeah, she executive produced one of our feature docs called Freedom's Fury. We did the project in India together. Megs and I wrote it, and then we directed it with Lucy.
And doesn't she live close by you guys too, or no?
No, she's now in New York. She was out here for a while, but it's crazy. I mean, we had a dance scene together.
Well, this is the hilarious part is Colin didn't know about some of the costume things one must have for dancing.
Like the merch you have at a townhouse?
Thank you.
Merch.
But
the original Cocoa Puff.
Cocoa Puff.
Cocoa non-puffy.
To hold one's junk in
Bro,
place.
I get it.
And the wind blew, shall we say.
Dress rehearsal. Can anyone say pup tent?
It came off?
I had to kind of just...
You're like,
throwing Lucy in the air.
I remember talking. I'm talking to the choreographer. I was like, afterwards, I was like, is there something that can keep it?
Get out of here!
Keep it down.
And there's like, yes, it's called a dance belt. I'm like, what? Didn't anyone tell me about this?
Dude, I've had two situations. I did a Walgreens ad. It was early in the morning, and I had to go up behind this girl. I remember it. And we were wearing boxers and shirts, and she said my wiener was poking her in the back. So they had to because it was like what do you want me to do, dude? What do you want to do? I'm wearing boxers and it's in there.
And so how did you do this? Did you say it to someone else?
They taped it down.
Stop it!
I had to tape it down.
Embarrassment.
Oh, it was brutal. I'm like, it's fucking Walgreens, dude. Let's do this. Come on.
And did she say it to you? Did she?
She
say
said it to one of the PA people or whatever. Yeah.
His nuts.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
His wiener. Mm-hmm. Well, what are we gonna do? There's nothing. We were gonna cut it off. I wasn't embarrassed, but I was like, okay, let's go. Then fine. Was this what you wanted?
Okay,
but that's like when I also did, and not to take it away from you guys, but
this is.
I did that. I did. What was it for Showtime? And it was. I had to. What was it for? Femme Fatales.
Okay.
Yeah, for Showtime, yeah. And also, I wasn't their first option. I was their second option, but the guy dropped because he booked a soap opera.
Sounds
so then,
familiar.
but here comes Brady, and I was like, you betcha. No problem.
He remembered his lines in his audition, though.
Yes, and he got it. So thanks, Megan. I appreciate that.
Bringing it
Anytime,
back.
buddy.
Okay, let's cut it, Paul.
Paul.
I had to have sex with this girl on the desk, and I had to put a
Was it
cock
your first
sock on.
sex scene?
Yes. That was the most uncomfortable
were
shit.
you fully
Yeah.
naked?
Yes.
Except for the
except for
Yes,
the sock.
but
You
I
were
had the
like
sock
red
on my
hot chili
wiener.
peppering it.
Yeah, I had the sock on my wiener, which was fun.
Perfect.
And then I had to. I always know where the camera is.
Yeah, you did. I saw that.
I had to, and then I couldn't take my socks off, so everyone saw the show. I was having sex with my socks
No,
on.
they didn't frame it out. Come on.
What? This was awful.
Was it delivered? Like, was there
Everything I've done in my
joke
career has been pretty bad.
This is
so
like
far.
your risky business moment where you
Basically, yeah.
You basically have the socks
Listen,
on.
after clean break, everything
While
went
you're
downhill. Do you
nutting
understand?
some girl on a desk and
It was so
great.
uncomfortable. And then
Great.
the guy goes, "All right, let's do it one more time." And I go, "What did we not get? Like, what did we not? I don't have any lines. It's just us fucking on a desk. Like
what did you not get?
what did we not get?"
Macro.
Well, okay, so the end of my illustrious acting career after
listening.
starting in theater, I took that year out and followed Colin, who had his own show, and he literally had to get me out of one job because I was like so trying to book stuff, and so I booked this one film, and I just kind of ignored the title.
It was softcore.
Alien sex fiends and the thrill kill women who love them.
Why didn't we start with this?
Yeah, I know. There you go. Like this.
I was Thrill Kill Ray.
Can we hear the title one more time?
Yes, please.
Alien sex fiends and the thrill kill women who
Hey,
love
Megan,
them.
wouldn't you be like, "Hold on, this isn't Shakespeare"?
Wait a second. This sounds.
I think we have a problem. I don't know what I was thinking, Brady. And I knew enough to not tell Colin. So the lady's like,
Big
"You booked the
Brother."
film, blah blah blah." And then later he's like, "So you turned up on set, and they were shooting outside of the script, and the producers were dressed in diapers."
Come on.
The
I'm not
producers
kidding
are
you.
dressed in diapers.
They're like, "Oh, we're in this scene," and I'm like, "Where's the rest of the crew?" And then I see them in their diapers, and I'm like,
Wrap it up.
"Oh my god, I'm out of here! I'm out of here!"
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Seriously. So I'm like, "Colin, what do I do?" He's like, "Well, what was the name of the script?" I told him. He's like, "What the fuck were you
Like
doing?"
walk off the set
Yeah,
right
don't
now.
say a
18 years
word.
old.
Just walk.
Walk right off.
Oh yeah.
And I came and met you.
Yeah, no, he came and met me, and then
I was like, okay.
he talked to them. He gave them like the hard Big Brother talk.
Yes.
Because it was my modeling agency who'd booked me the job, and
Oh,
they were not
fuck.
helping. It's like so called. So they killed me off. I had a snooker crew.
You got
to
killed
the,
off
yeah.
a fucking.
Yeah, they had to kill me off because we'd shot a whole bunch. It seemed legit at first.
How many weeks were you on it before you told Colin? Like a week?
Well, he knew I was
No, I
doing
knew
it,
she- I just
but
didn't
I'd
know
done like
what
a
it
week
was.
of shooting. I'd done all the press shots.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I had there's a poster of me with an Uzi. Like, oh my god, I
Poster of you with an Uzi?
In
That's
like a
kinda hot.
bikini.
That's gotta be. Do you still have the poster?
yeah.
Yes.
But I don't know what happened to the film. I should probably
See, that's
You
what it's
should
all
shake
dig
about.
that
that
shit
up.
down.
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah.
I bet you it's online somewhere. Okay, everyone, help us find it.
Oh, please don't.
All right. What would you say is the biggest to date? The thing that's happened to your career? Where you're like, that was the biggest thing that's ever happened.
The biggest thing.
Yeah, biggest like something you've produced or something you've acted.
Colin
in
and
or
I are
something.
knights in Hungary. We're Hungarian knights.
No shit. Are you
That's
serious?
pretty
It's
big.
Sir,
That's huge.
And then
Sir
big-
Coco.
Sir Coco.
We didn't know what to call Megan because
don't know
it
the
could either be
translation.
lady or dame. So
Alien.
I just call her lame Megan.
So the biggest
Lame.
thing that ever happened to me, and now I'm lame. Thank you, Colin.
Wait, how did they go about? Was there a whole ceremony and everything?
Yeah.
Dude, it was crazy.
It was incredible.
How does that even
Okay,
happen?
so here's the
Oh,
here's a
God.
quick backstory. So
It was an incredible moment.
it was a film
going in.
about two doubly obscure topics: the Hungarian Revolution of 1956 and this very famous water polo game that was played at the Melbourne Olympics
Very famous.
3 weeks after
polo.
the Red Army had crushed
intense.
the uprising in Hungary.
Cool.
So no one knows anything about either of these things, but
Not at all.
passionate about it because played water polo at Michigan, and it's a people power movement.
jacked, weren't you?
I was jacked.
Fucking jacked.
So it was, and my coaches were Hungarian. So
But we had we had to scrabble the financing together.
Oh, it was another one of those long projects, piecing it together. But
Guerrilla.
But we ended up getting it made. We filmed in Hungary for over a number of months, and then it debuted at Tribeca. It had a big debut. We ended up getting. Quentin Tarantino came on board as an executive producer. Lucy,
he heard blood and he's like,
blood,
I'm in.
revenge.
I'm
I
in.
want to, you know. And so then we had Mark Spitz became one of our narrator because one of the young players who's the star of the Hungarian team that was involved in this famous water polo match, he was sucker punched at the end of the game. And so his head was split open by a Soviet player, and they called the blood in the water match because he was hauled out of the pool. Fans started rioting, so they had to call the game.
Over a fucking water polo
But
game?
it was like, it
Well,
was
because the
of
revolution had been crushed.
right.
because it was
So anything, anyone's
politicized.
going
to. Oh, yeah.
Politicized Russia, and then so it was
Interesting.
People had died in the streets. Like it was, they'd thrown
15,000
out
people.
the Russians.
How is that
They'd
not
thrown
talked
out the
about
Soviet-
It's
modern day?
And it is
It
now.
is.
But it's more people are familiar with Prague Spring in '68, and certainly Tiananmen Square in '89. But this was the first crack in the Iron Curtain was '56, and the Hungarians.
Right.
So, anyways, all this to say, so we spent 5 years making this movie. We ended up debuting and had a big release. We were huge in Hungary.
That's so
huge
cool,
in
though.
Hungary.
We beat out Miami Vice at box
I don't give a
office,
fuck.
all right?
I don't give a fuck if you're huge in Cleveland, bro. That shit is badass.
But listen, we had for a documentary, we were released in 15 cities in Hungary,
No
which is
shit.
like it was. And so yeah, our opening weekend, we beat every Hollywood movie that was in. So Miami Vice, and there were a couple others that we beat out.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And so the Hungarian,
Where can people look at this now?
they can get it online, Amazon, whatever.
I mean, it's from 2006.
And it's called what again?
Freedom's Fury.
Or in Hungarian, Asaba Jagvihara.
Oh, bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Olivia's open
But it was no. So, dude, this is the crazy thing. So the nighting was. So we'd been out for about 6 months to a year, and then there was a special screening here in LA at the Museum of Tolerance, hosted by the Hungarian Embassy, Canadian Embassy. They bring us down, and the Hungarian Consul General gets up before the screening. Says, "I'm very excited to announce just today in Parliament in Budapest, there was a proclamation read, and the Sibs are being awarded the Knight's
they call it
Cross
the Sibs.
Order of Merit for the Republic of Hungary." Yes, the Sibs. And we're like, we're like, that's
cool.
so great.
That's nice.
Thank you. We
Thanks.
got up and did our presentation, showed the movie, and afterwards our Hungarian president, do you have any idea what
just
just
got knighted. You're
He said,
getting knighted.
You're getting knighted. And we're, what does that mean?
Holy shit.
And we're like, okay,
just
thank
said my
you. We think.
Inappropriate.
Start smashing your head against
You're
the
like,
wall.
yes. And so we didn't know what it meant. And so we looked online. Past recipients were Václav Havel, Queen Elizabeth.
No.
Yeah, I mean, like all these huge.
Do you guys have are there pictures of you guys like through
Oh, yeah.
of like a hallway with like royal stuff on? Like
I think that's
Megan's like
hilarious.
this. She's like.
Well, it's really funny because the Hungarian ambassador in D.C., they had this big ceremony, and the
In
Joint
DC
Chiefs
for
of
us.
Staff were there, and like all this crazy stuff. And so they line us up, and so eventually we got Lucy Liu and Quentin Tarantino knighted as well, which is pretty hilarious. But at this point,
For just being
Executive
proud of the
producers.
project.
Yeah.
But so we're lined up. And they're coming down the line doing the ceremony for Colin and for me, and I'm wearing a low slung dress, and the guy is like up to here on me, like at my bosom,
Nice.
and he's going to pin
Bosom.
the thing on my dress, and he hesitates. He doesn't know what to do because he's like, it's going to knock her
Like,
dress
I got it,
down.
guy.
And so someone in the audience,
No, it's his wife.
yells. We find out later. I hear someone in the audience yell something. He later comes out with a book, his autobiography, and so we get it in Hungarian. He's like, one day I'll get you the English. We finally get the English translation of his book. And it turns out it was his wife who'd yelled out a Hungarian expression to him in front of the Joint Chiefs and everything. And it was something like, "You got chicken balls."
Yeah, you coward. You coward.
That's
Yeah. Hungarian
hilarious.
direct
It's like he wouldn't-
translation.
During a huge moment for everyone.
Yeah,
but
but
she
it's
calls him
like,
chicken
"Just
balls.
hit it on her breast.
You
Come
got
on."
chicken balls.
But dude, it's so crazy. So here's what it actually means. So we are knights. But what that technically means is if Hungary declares war on someone or someone declares war, we are obligated to raise our own mini army
So we'll
and
call
join
you,
the
okay?
cause.
You
So
ready?
are you ready to?
The only
you'll
problem is
fight
we're
with us?
not.
I mean, sure, yeah, let's do it. I'm always down to fucking beat some ass, dude.
Right.
Sure, I'm not backing down.
We just want to make sure it's not with current leadership in Hungary.
Yeah.
That may be.
Yeah.
That could be bad.
If Orban summons us, we
No,
may.
thanks.
give
Bro,
it back.
that is incredible. Did you guys document it all on your end? Did you?
no.
To a certain degree. I mean, there's photos.
There's photos.
But,
Photos.
Yeah. Photos, eh?
I like that.
Let's get her going.
I like
eh?
that. Okay, what's a movie that you first saw that you wish you were in or wish you made?
I always wanted to be a Bond girl back when, but not anymore.
Yeah, well, you did the Alien movie.
Yeah,
so
I
you
sort of got
scratched
kicked that out of the system.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know about you, but I always wanted to be in a World War II like action movie.
What about, like,
Saving Private
or
Ryan,
Band of Brothers or
Band of
something?
Brothers? Like,
So
did
would
you
I.
ever do?
100%? No, I would love to. I never even auditioned for it.
That's what. Yeah,
Yeah.
I never
Yeah.
even got a chance.
No.
Yeah,
Great. There goes our acting career.
Yeah, down the tubes.
terrible.
What was your first good? I don't know why I wrote these. When was your first good cry? What was your first good?
Well,
cry?
like as an adult cry. Mm-hmm. Ooh, first good cry.
I have a good one probably every Monday.
Wow.
Oh yeah, a good
I mean,
cry is
every,
cleansing for the soul.
Yeah,
Let's
really
face
is.
it,
Every
people.
morning
I
when
love
I
that
wake
you're
up.
open about your cry.
Sure. Are you kidding me?
He's the melancholy straight gay
You
guy.
know, the only reason why I say this is I was on the plane the other day and I was drinking white wine like a bitch, and I was drinking white wine and I was watching Up.
Oh,
And,
I've got
and
one
I'm
for you.
sitting in my seat and I go like this. Oh my God. And just fountains were coming out my eyes. And this lady looks at me and she's like, and I go, swim.
Dude,
When he goes up with those balloons, I'm like, oh, son of a bitch.
But I swear, a plane cry is
plane
the
cry,
best
it's cathartic.
I
What is it?
love
Is
a
it the
plane
altitude?
cry.
I think
just
and
gets
the
you going?
booze. It
Yeah.
gets
And
the
it gets-
booze.
Yeah,
But here's the thing.
all of
I've
it.
got a more embarrassing one. I went to go see Titanic
Yes.
by myself.
No.
Right after a breakup.
Oh, dear.
And
Why would you do
Lots of
that?
breakup crying for Colin.
Why would you? Why would you?
I don't
would
even
you-
know
would you go
why.
see a comedy?
And so I went. I remember, and I'm like seeing
Melancholy,
it,
told
and I'm
ya.
like, this is really melancholy. This is kind of weak and lame. And then I was holding it together until I got in the car.
Oh, no,
and then
it's not
it was
even
like,
in the theater.
and I was just crying like
Yes.
a little baby.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Driving home. Pathetic.
What about you?
So I think mine was
Every time
going,
you drop your kids off at school,
oh,
go.
No, I was like, how could the day be longer?
Yeah.
No, there was one time I flew, so this wouldn't be the first, but it's a memorable one. I flew back with a friend to New York for a Halloween party for just an in and out overnight. And so that we knew that going in, there'd be no sleep. We had to be at this Halloween party, like just had to be there. And we found it on Air Miles. We did it. So we go. Probably did lots of bad things.
Sure.
Stayed up all night, had a rock out, amazing good time. I remember like a whole gang of friends who I really missed waving to us at the crest of the hill, and the sun is sort of framed between the
that is
buildings,
nice.
and we're in a cab, and the two of us are like, we fucking did it! And we get to the plane, and we're still kind of like feeling the high, and then suddenly like everything is bad. Like, and we're at the airport going through security, and it's getting worse.
I know.
Like, ooh. And then all of a sudden we get on the plane. We can't sit together. We're both sat in the middle, but I look over and she's sat next to this like smoking hot guy who's like a
course.
violin player, and like all I hear is
Probably his name's probably Sky.
Yeah, Sky.
Yeah.
thank
Nice
you, running
callback.
theme.
Good callback.
Well done.
I listen.
So she's sitting there having this whale of a time, and I'm sat between two Polynesian, very overweight people who stink to high. They just like I
Yeah,
don't know.
sounds about
So
right.
you're
It was-
racist.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it just happened to be that way, and I'm like in the middle, shrinking down like this, and like
How long is this flight to?
it's like a 5 hour.
Long
right?
enough.
That's long enough. Sit in the
Yeah.
middle
Oh,
between
my
two
God.
stinky people. No. I've had that.
I started to weep, and I couldn't. Once it started, I couldn't stop.
And they probably didn't do. And I bet the people next to you did nothing.
They were just like,
The guy
what's
probably
wrong?
shut his window and
Yeah,
like went to
exactly.
sleep.
It was the guy and his mom,
like
and they were
this.
talking over me, like just kind of ignoring. And then finally, they were ignoring me the whole time, talking.
And you're just crying.
And like bad breath, like. Boo, and I'm like,
Why don't you just-
And finally, the mom of the two just, as she's talking to him, she just puts her hand on my knee and gives it a good old shake, like I got you, girl. And I was like, kind of strangely feel comforted by that.
I see you.
Yeah, she was like, I'm not even going to look at you. I'm
Right.
going to keep talking to my
That,
boy.
right. That meant shut up.
Like, just
I'm talking to my
keep
guy.
it together, white bitch. Like,
White bitch. I love
but
that.
I'm with you.
I love that.
Yeah,
So
it felt good.
so what's the first movie you saw that you wish you were in? You said
Oh, that I wish the first one that God.
was it?
Well,
was
Jesus.
it?
Cider House
was it
Rules because he
Cider-
nearly was in it.
Yeah, there you go.
Were
Cider.
you were in Cider House Rules?
They did it.
Wait, is that what is that? Who's in that movie again?
Well, the one it was Max von Sydow and no, that was the original. That was Kane and
What's his name? He was Spider-Man.
Gyllenhaal?
No.
Maguire. Toby.
Tobey Maguire.
Got you.
Yeah, but they did a version like 10 years prior that they had got as far as casting, and they had the director, and I was cast as. I got that was going to be my big feature debut, and then the financing fell apart.
Fucking shit.
Yeah.
Do you? When was the time? Where were you when you were like, I think I'm done with acting stuff?
It was
You
Trailer when they were
there's
talking
got to
about your thinning hair. Without
yeah,
as if you
no,
weren't there.
it was like no, it was that, but that was like the beginning of it. It's like Hardy Boys, and I'm like they're like. Because see,
Nice.
beautifully bald.
Hey.
But they I remember them coming in and talking. Yeah, with the makeup artist, like, well, we'll just put a little, shadow here, and you won't see it as much. And I'm like, what are they doing? I'm like, oh, the fact that I'm thinning.
Oh no.
But that wasn't what. No, I think what it was literally around the time of Terrell the Melancholy Gay Man, and I was just like,
and they were like, you know what? These parts are just not really resonating with me
they're
anymore.
not really. They're not. I'm not. I always saw like I loved acting, loved performing, but it was like I also was wanting to be involved in projects that I really believed in, and I was like, I'm not. They're fun, but I'm not really doing stuff that I want to be sinking my teeth into. So I was already starting to write and direct and had just done my first PSA. I'd done my first doc. And I was just like, and this is after I'd had my own TV show. Bad one, but still.
What was that?
The Hardy Boys. But it was still fun. It was so fun to work on it. And I loved the team and the cast
You
and
went
the
out
crew.
on a high, man.
How were you with dialogue?
Dialogue I love. I mean, because
it wasn't a problem under
not at all.
If they
And
kept
every
saying,
day,
do it over, you could do it.
Yeah.
I see that to me is a specific skill in itself. I'm so good at improv. I can get the gist of it, but if you give me a whole bunch of fucking dialogue, I am a piece of trash because I get too nervous because
everyone's
I remember you guys gave me this whole page to read for the beginning of Clean Break, and I had to hit all these. And I'm like, I remember I studied that thing for like a week, and I'm like, there's no way I can do this.
And then I remember we tried to change a couple things on the fly. You're like, why are you doing that? I do specifically. You
remember that? And I was like,
why
I
are you
was
doing
so
this to me?
nervous doing that. I'm like, can we just get to the water sport part, please?
And then you were so happy when we were doing some ADR, and you were like, "This I can do."
Yeah.
See, but I don't know. It's up here.
It is. It is.
I going into stand up, I'm like, I used to be able to memorize all the time, and then pot happened, and
Yeah. Well, you don't want to smoke weed before you go on stage.
No. But so now, though, I'm realizing it's just a muscle you have to exercise.
Totally.
And it's a mental thing. Like if you tell yourself you can do it, and you do the work, and it's in there, then it becomes this like the athlete thing again, right? Like it just flows and you let go and it comes.
Yeah, see, I for me, once I started doing it though, if you don't think about it, then you can memorize it.
Absolutely.
But if you're trying to memorize it and while you think about it,
Yeah.
you just,
why can't I
Especially
get
if your
it
head
down?
is
Piece of
saying,
shit.
I can't do this, I can't do this, like you're never going to do it. Yeah.
But I think that's partly the theater background too. I don't know how much, theater, but I do think that was good training and just being, I mean, you can't, obviously you have someone there who's got the script backstage if you screw up, but I mean, in front of a live audience, and you've got to have those lines down.
Yeah.
So
theater is the best training ground. It
Yeah,
really
for some
is.
reason, theater was always okay. Stand up for me is not a problem. Even if I have to go up there and try new material, I'm totally okay with it because if I bomb, at least it's going to be me that's doing it.
And you're in
That's
the
why I say
driver's
groundlings is so hard because if you go up there and you're all bombing, it's uncomfortable as fuck. But if it's just you, listen, I'll sit there and
That's true.
I'll ride it all day.
Yeah. No, it's true.
Anyways, we got 5 more minutes.
The film I wanted to do that I didn't do was I'm a Tolkien head. I wanted to be in Lord
Lord of the Rings.
Oh man!
Oh, you would be so good in Lord of the
Don't you
Rings.
think
come
I look
on,
elephant?
Galadriel.
Yeah. I could see you in Hobbit feet for sure.
Oh, Hobbit feet. Yeah.
Oh,
They just
there
have
you
to
go.
shrink me a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. What was the first movie you saw?
I remember the first movie we saw together, just the two of us.
Yes, let's do that.
Which one was that?
Karate Kid. You took me to see
Oh,
Karate
yeah.
Kid.
Classic. That's a great one.
Did you have a crush on Danny LaRusso?
Who didn't?
Yeah, for sure. I didn't.
didn't.
I didn't.
You didn't?
I did. No, I had a crush on the
Elizabeth
mom.
Shue?
I had a crush on the mom.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was in the
See,
middle.
Elizabeth
You
Shue,
already going
I was
up,
4.
yeah.
I was 4.
You're like,
Well
I
done.
don't know. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah. You know me, dude. I chase
Like, are
after
you
the
still
older chicks.
breastfeeding?
First embarrassing moment.
oh boy.
So many. My first embarrassing moment, I can say hands down, was ballet. Colin had been in the ballet. Colin was a really good ballet dancer. Go figure.
Damn, son.
And so he
What
was
weren't
the
you good
star.
at?
I know. Imagine
modesty.
following his shoes. So yeah, modesty. Fuck. So he was like the star of the Madame's class. She loved him. So
was
she was
ridiculous.
super excited when his little sister came to class. Like, woo, this is going to be amazing.
Right.
And I'm super pumped. Come to find out that I am not flexible and that my knobbly knees look as though my legs are always bent and they're not. So she'd take out the ruler and she'd hit my knees like, stand straight. And
You're like, bitch, I'm trying.
I'm trying.
we quickly did not like each other, especially when on the first class she had us jumping over her sacred stack of vinyl and I knocked it all out over. But the embarrassing moment was the star of the class had her hand in the door frame. And I opened or closed the door and took 3 of her fingernails off.
No.
I mean, at that point, I just might
Just
as
like,
well
I'm out.
retire.
Yeah, after that, you're like, I'm going to go.
I'm just, you know
Hey,
what?
Ma, you want to
Yeah.
pick me up? Because I think I'm
I'm going to go sit in the car with the windows up.
Yeah.
Okay? So, I'll see you guys later. Yeah.
Or down in the garage with the door
Dude,
down.
I remember my dad got me golf lessons, and I kept hitting the ball behind me. Behind me, and
How?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, that in itself is Ripley's Believe It or Not.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
And my dad's like, "Fuck is
turn it
wrong with
around.
this
Maybe
guy?"
your aim was brilliant
Dude, or
backwards.
maybe I was just trying to hit that way.
Yeah,
You know
and
what I mean?
just fuck with them.
Or maybe you were angry with your father.
Here's mine. I have 2 early ones. The first one was I think I was the first guy in my T-ball league to strike out.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
T-ball.
Yeah.
Struck out. I hit the stand.
Yeah.
I hit above.
Yeah.
Hit the stand again.
All right, so
strike out.
So now
like it never happens.
So now the ballet thing kind of makes sense.
Yeah, there you go. And then the other one was I at grade 9, minor niner, freshman year in Canada for high school. I was 5'1". A shrimp,
nice.
And I was convinced that if I got a slightly different hairstyle, maybe and so was with Mom and Megan.
I want to see these pictures.
I remember
I want to see them.
sitting
So
in the hair salon with him, and
So
I literally remember
You had a
the words.
perm, dog?
I got a perm, and I didn't ask for it. I swear to God, I just said to the guy, I just want to do something different. He's like, I've got the perfect thing. Trust me.
I love his
putting all the
French.
stuff in.
And I remember him literally saying, "You're not giving me a perm, right?" And the guy's like, "No."
Dude.
But then he sits him underneath the the
Dude,
cone.
I came
thing.
out and
You have pictures of this.
And I was like, I had a fro.
I don't know.
I had a fro, and I remember that I was like, oh my God, and I had a toque. I was like, wore it to the next school the next day. I showed up late so no one would see me. And I remember it was one of those like out of the movie. I set foot on campus, and there's like the main building, gym building, and I set foot, and there happened to be a kid who was looking outside, and I hear, oh my God.
Our mom had said, "Don't worry, Colin.
No one will notice. I've set one foot on the main quad area, and I hear, oh my God, Colin got a perm.
Straight out of a high
whole
school
classroom, like just everyone laughing. I'm like, oh my God, terrible.
All right, that's fucking great. You look like Andre Agassi. It's so good. You get so good.
So good.
All right, these are fast, and then we're done.
All right.
and you guys can go back to Venice and be happy, unlike the rest of us. All right, all right. Try first time you tried to impress a chick or a guy, and it went really bad.
Oh.
Perm.
There was every time.
Getting a perm.
Perms, that's that yours?
Yeah.
That's pretty. I think
pretty bad.
That wins the whole thing.
Yeah, I know. I like grew really fast.
I think when you dress as a guy and get slapped in the face.
Well, that
Can we use that one?
Let's go with that one.
Okay.
Okay.
Is cereal soup? Why or why not?
It's a lumpy soup because it's eaten with a spoon in a bowl.
Okay. I like that. Very serious. Go ahead.
Cereal is way better than soup. It is definitely not soup. It is
Are you a soup hater?
come on, cereal is the bomb.
Spoken like a true Canadian. I like that. All right. What's the most unsexiest thing a girl or a guy can do in bed during like a first hookup?
Wow.
You know what my pet peeve is?
Clipped, gross, big, no unclipped feet.
No, it's really simple. Googly eyes. Like you Google eye me, and I want to slap the shit out of you. Like, don't get all googly
Well, I'll make sure to
Yeah.
look at you like this. Like,
no eye contact.
No eye contact.
do you hear what Megan doesn't like? Fucking googly
Do
eyes.
not Google
Like,
eyes.
shit, I'm wearing sunglasses.
Statements like, "Oh, I wish I'd showered this morning."
Oh.
Oh, ouch.
You know what though? As a guy, we're like, doesn't matter, baby. It's fine. Okay, what's the weirdest?
I'm married.
What's the weirdest smell you ever smelled?
India.
Yes.
I mean, I love that. I love
So
that
she
country
is
so much.
racist, huh?
Yeah.
She is. Wow. Who knew?
Paul.
Who knew? Are you sure you're not a Trump fan?
No, I swear to God. I swear to God. You go to India and it's like incredible India is the commercial campaign.
Yeah.
And it is incredible because you've never seen such beauty.
That place should
and
come with
smell-
incense.
Oh, it can smell the most, in one whiff, it can be the most incredible, luscious smelling scent you've ever had in your life, coupled by diarrhea. Like there's the layers of sensation.
Yeah, what they show you on those brochures, I have a feeling is not what you think it is.
Okay, I've got one that Megs is definitely going to agree with
Okay.
here. Our grandparents in England, they lived in this little farm down in Cornwall, and we'd go visit them, and every year when we go there, they'd be like, "Oh, great, you're back. The donkey stables need mucking out." So they had these donkeys on their farm, and they had this stable area it's this old 13th century, 14th century farm, but they would not muck out for a year. So it's just basically
save it up.
a year of shit just packed on top of each other. And then we'd get in there with pickaxes and shovels, and you'd hit these methane pockets. So it's already just horribly stinky. And then like you'd get the sealed methane layer. You'd go in and be like, imagine the worst.
Colin's the donkeyest ever since.
I would have, I would have ran away so fast and never
like-
seen my
No, we were
relatives
like, we gotta
ever
help
again.
Good boys, they would finish. I'd come in and like taunt them and not do that much.
Yeah, you'd be like,
Yeah, but dude,
Play with
that's
the
like that's like you remember the first time you like changed a diaper and it just smelled rancid?
dude, it
was
beyond.
worse than that?
Way beyond. I mean,
He used to change my diaper, so he knows. But
I know, that's
But
pretty
I actually
stinky.
know. I'll take. I'm
Smell like
gonna.
India.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yes.
I have my own special brand. man. No, I think the thing that really scarred me the most was my brothers putting me to bed at night used to like bottle their farts and then like uncap them.
Oh yeah, sure.
No, actually,
or
what
like
we used
fart
No.
on my pillow.
Or lay on your back and light your farts on fire.
Here's the best thing: is you
No.
take
That's
a
fun.
plush toy, compact
Still do
it,
that.
squeeze, and then fart and just let it
Fill the plush
slowly
toy with it, and then like
Yeah.
here's your teddy.
and then
sweetie.
hug it.
You guys are
That's what
bad.
I grew up with, man.
You guys are worse than half the comedians I talk to.
Oh, they taught me.
Oh,
to
no.
eat. They knew I loved bubblegum, so they'd come home from
ABC.
school. I can remember this like
Fart
yes,
gum.
Oh, I know. I
never
never
fart
tried
gum?
that.
It's
How
brutal.
would you do that? Then you have to.
No, you get it
maybe
at
like
Spencer's. You get it at Spencer's.
Oh,
You know
really?
Spencer's, the stuff that like when you used to go to the mall when they used to have malls.
Okay.
You get this thing called fart gum. Remember Pee Wee's Big Adventure when he gave Francis that gum and the ink
like
started coming out of his mouth? So there was fart gum. So you'd be like, you put it in with your regular gum. You're like, and at school you go, you want to stick a gum? And they eat and they go,
Thank God you
they go,
know
bro,
about
I didn't
this.
know about
this
this.
smells like fucking shit. And they give the worst shit breath.
Oh,
No,
that's so excellent.
Theirs was ABC gum, already being chewed. And I literally can remember.
Every day after
Oh, yeah.
school. Do you want
Every day. Guys, you got any chewing gum? Because I was obsessed with bubble gum, especially grape. And they'd be like, yeah, no, I think there's a fresh in the, I can remember picking it out of the toilet, the garbage in the toilet downstairs.
Oh,
And they like had me trained. I was a cute little kid. And
We
then
would
those-
just were like, yeah, eat that.
God damn. She comes up, she's like, so much flavor. All right, last couple. Here we go. What's the worst baby name?
Damn, these are bizarre
Wow.
questions. I
Yeah.
love it. I love this is like a little view into
I don't know,
Brady
something
brain.
fun- something
yeah,
fun to
I
end
like
with.
it.
Jesus.
Jesus. Okay.
Jesus. Adolf.
Okay, yeah. I would say, yeah.
One extreme or the other.
I was going to say, I don't think anyone's naming their kid Adolf anymore, but give it time. You know what I mean?
There's
come back
someone
around.
we know who's got an Adolf.
No.
Well, it was his grandfather.
Grandfather.
And his
Oh.
grandfather is like was
Colin.
born before
But
Adolf
still,
became.
it's an actual Adolf that's not Adolf.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
listen, Adolf ruined it for everyone. So
He really.
Hey,
Yeah, way
my
to go.
my dad's name is Donald, and he's so annoyed. He's like, it used to be the safest name.
Don.
Now,
Big Don.
Big Don,
Don Donda.
Don Donda.
Yeah. All right,
Hey, Don.
last one here. What sport would be the funniest if you added a mandatory amount of alcohol to?
Mandatory amount of alcohol.
Mandatory amount.
Funny.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you just got to choose a funny
Ice
sport.
skating.
No,
Something
because
to
that
do
could be
with-
seriously dangerous. Though.
Listen,
that's
you know how many
not
of my
funny,
buddies in
yeah.
college
That's not funny.
were fucking wasted when they skated and they were awesome.
Yeah, hockey players.
Hockey players, yeah.
I'd say something like, what's the one with the gymnastics?
Yeah.
With the twirly.
Yes, dude.
Like that.
Fine, go,
Dude,
go
if
after
you
the
ever want to do
girls.
it, if you ever want to do a comedy documentary, you should do it on that,
that.
and
Yes.
just give people a bunch of
Lots of-
booze and see how they react.
how they do.
Yeah,
and all
drunk
that.
instead of drunk history.
Drunk sports.
Yeah.
Or
Brady,
synchronized
get
swimming.
on that.
I should
Drunk
be. They'll be like,
sports.
no, you don't have a
Yeah.
TV show. Guys, thank you for doing this. I
Dude,
appreciate
thank you
it.
for having us.
That was a lot of fun. Name the movies going again that you have coming out and where we can see them.
90291 Venice Unzipped. It's in-
Google IDA Unzipped.
You can make a donation if you
Find
want to
out.
support our lame asses in this movie.
Sure.
And then come down on
On
the
the
4th.
biggest
to
thing,
see you guys.
November 4th at the Del Monte, which is downstairs of the townhouse.
What time?
At 7:30 are doors, and you'll see the fine
Brady.
Brady Matthews
Thank
and
you.
Greg
The gray haired.
Fitzsimmons and amazing
One.
lineup.
Yeah.
And I'll try not to bomb.
No, you'll be fine. You have a great time. Plus, nothing like bombing in front of everyone you know.
Oh,
You're
yeah, I
like,
love
Yeah.
that.
You're like, you're so good. You're like, you don't have to say that.
Yes.
Don't
Right?
don't
I kind of hate the after conversation.
I can't stand
I
it.
wanna
Sometimes
clear-
I usually just leave. I don't even stick around.
Yeah, but then if you've asked
But if you have a really good,
come,
if you have a really good set, then
then
you're
you
come
come
out
out
like,
strut it,
yeah,
strut it.
hey.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you guys for
Dude,
doing this. I
congrats
appreciate
on
it.
everything.
Make
Thank
sure
you, Brady.
to listen, subscribe, share, tell all your friends. Check us out at comedypopup.la.com. I've been your host, Brady Matthews. That's been Colin. That's been Megan. Thank you so much. I love you. Have a good
love
night.
you.
Love you.
Take care.